Zip, 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 zip. And some more people. I don't know who the people is.
Where are you guys going to want the podium? Yeah. Where are you going to want it?
Try it on.
Good in the shade. Yeah,
turn sideways. No, just back up sideways. There you go.
Yeah, because you don't want to.
Why won't that work? Under appears.
Kinds of them. Democrats.
Univision and all the rest of them.
Especially since I collect elephants.
So I'm just getting the
There's a guy hiding
number
out in
of
the trees over there.
people sitting here. There's that one and that company and them companies and that company, whomever they is, and Univision and Channel 10.
Before, it's one of the most deceptive propositions I think that's ever been for the voters of Arizona. It's called Proposition 202, Stop Illegal Hiring. It does just the opposite. We've battled, this is the same group that has fought us in court. We've won 4 court challenges. This law is not only constitutional legal, it's the best and most effective recognized law in the nation. It's been adopted by ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council, as model legislation for the nation. I'm currently working with several states in preparing legislation very similar to this. So I'm a little concerned about this, and let's get down to the facts. Proposition 202 is just the opposite of what it says. The most deceptive piece of garbage that has been put before the public. It simply does several things. First of all, it creates a non-rebuttable presumption of innocence. It means you can't prosecute for their, you can't investigate until the federal government completes theirs. It relieves you of the mandatory use, the required use of E-Verify. Even Judge Walker in the Ninth Circuit Court said, you'll never have a virtue, and I'm going to paraphrase, you'll never have a system that works without E-Verify. We know the I-9 process is fraudulent, completely full of fraud, employer-based, and incentivized to commit fraud. So it'll never work without a proper web-based program such as E-Verify that is ran by Homeland Security. In fact, there's new studies just came out from the Center for Immigration Studies of how effective this program is and why it should continue to be used. And we hope the Congress will continue to support it as such also. But also, it removes, again, a critical element of reporting crime, and that's an anonymous call. The person who knows that if they call in, they're going to be fired or harassed, or somebody's going to go after them. And again, the investigation, all it does is, when somebody calls anonymous, it's like Silent Witness. And Silent Witness, we know, one of the most successful programs in the nation. It allows a citizen to report suspected crime. Why would the world would you be afraid of a citizen reporting suspected crime? The county attorney and the sheriff still have the responsibility of proving the elements of a crime. It just simply lets them know that there are suspected criminal activity going on. So again, we're here in opposition to Prop 202. We've got to tell you, jobs are the biggest lure of illegal aliens coming to this nation. We all know it. There's a new crime report out by the FBI on data showing violent crime connected to the illegal alien movement. All over this nation, the largest, most violent gangs are made up of illegal aliens. We have, and again, I'll get copies of that report for anybody that wants it. It's kind of interesting. The cities that reported the fewest amount of crimes, did the least about it, are Houston, LA, Phoenix, and other cities that have so-called sanctuary policies that refuse to allow their officers to do their job. Other cities that are more proactive, working with ICE, enforcing the law, have had significant reductions in violent crime. And it's also interesting, here we have employer sanctions in Arizona. Again, model legislation, some of the finest in the nation. Oklahoma also has good legislation. Well, both of these states have a significant reduction in the illegal alien population. Correlating with that is a significant reduction in violent crimes. In Texas, which has an increase in the illegal alien population, has a significant increase in violent crimes. Significant. There's a direct correlation. And I argue, and I again stand with the citizens of this state. This has been upheld by the citizens, been upheld by the courts. It's model legislation, and it ought not to be undone. There will be no investigations on employers if this thing passes, simply as employer amnesty. And violent crime and other activities that impact our citizens, and again, we can go through the list of officers of Earthly and Eagle and Martin and Collins and Glidewell and Atkins and all the officers that they killed, the Chris Miller family and the serial rapist in Chandler. That's not just collateral damage, folks. Those are real victims. That's real damage to this country. We spend over $1 billion a year in K-12, not to count the cost of just to educate the children of illegal aliens, not to count the criminal justice costs and the health care costs. Enough's enough. We have a good law. We need to give this law a chance to work. The public has to know, and I'll just mention one quick poll that's just been completed. Because the public is very much in supportive of enforcing these laws. And if you just went by the title, the deceptive, misleading title that this proposition has, 62% of the public would probably vote for it. When they understand what it does, 72% of the public will vote against it. You know, and so folks, it's a matter of getting the information out. We have a good law passed by a bipartisan legislature, signed by a governor. We need to let that law work. And if changes need to be made, we have the ability to change it, unlike if it goes through the proposition process and pass it. Will not be able to change. And again, if that passes because it is deceptive, we believe the public will know what to do. We absolutely will start almost immediately to make sure that we get something on the ballot. The public can regain the effort that they want. Because when given the honest information, the public is overwhelmingly in support of enforcement of our immigration laws, including employer sanction. I've got other folks here that I want to say something before we take questions. I'm going to call on Representative Kavanaugh first, then I'm going to have the sheriff and the county attorney and a couple of others come up. Representative Kavanaugh.